Hiya friends, Prepared Suburbanite back at you. You know, there's a topic that's not getting much play on our YouTube prepping channels, and that's considering what may be coming in the near future, is how are we going to be prepared for our clothing needs when the S does hit the fan. I spent some time this morning trying to put together kind of a checklist for some of the things that we need to be taken into consideration when the S does hit the fan as far as our clothing needs go. So stick around. Clothing can be, I guess, categorized under the list of prepping necessities as part of the shelter thing, because you're really basically sheltering your body from the outside elements. So as far as I'm concerned, and this is basically all my opinion here, and feel free to embellish or add to this in the comments below, but here's where I want to start. Your clothing should have utility. And by utility, I mean it needs to be comfortable and it needs to be durable. All right? And it needs to be functional for the season that you find yourself in when the S does hit the fan. There's a lot of other kinds of peripheral considerations, but let's just get into a quick list of the clothing items that you need to make sure you've got, whether it's in your bug out bag, your get home bag, in your regular closet, stuff that you wear every day, stuff that you save for winter, stuff that you set aside for summertime. But here's a list. You got to have socks. Yeah, I know. In the summertime, we generally defer to wearing sandals and that kind of stuff, but they're not very practical and they're truly not very safe when we're going to be out trying to survive after whatever kind of nonsense is going to happen. So I would suggest that socks be on your list, and preferably wool socks. But you can get away with a blended cotton, poly kind of a sock if you have to. But your core should really be wool socks. And then you've got to have underwear. Now, boxers or briefs, whatever fits you well. You need pants or jeans. I prefer two different styles. I like the LAPG, the LA Police Gear Urban Ops cargo pants. I'm not even exactly sure what they call them, but they're somewhere between $20 and $25 now. I picked up a whole bunch of them probably 5 or 6 years ago. They wear like iron. They're very comfortable. They hold up very, very well. They just do me well. They've got nice sized cargo pockets on each leg, deep pockets in the front and in the back. So I pretty much defer to those for lightweight use. I like Wrangler jeans. I have a preference for the Wrangler, what do they call it? Carpenter. Yeah, Carpenter pants. They got the little loop on the side and all that, which is not very functional, but the style fits me just dandy. And they're a little bit heavier material than the LAPG Urban Ops cargo pants. So I like those. Those are my top two. In the winter time, as far as winter wear, work wear goes, I like the Carhartt canvas type pants. I've got a couple of pair of them. I've got stuff that I use when I'm doing lumberjacking, the double knee kind, and they've got reinforcements in there, and you can easily slip on a pair of chaps over them. But they're warm, they're rugged, they're durable. A little bit. These are the double knee ones that I use for that kind of work wear. And then I've got a regular pair of Carhartt work jeans that I'll use around. A little heavy for summertime wear, but for fall and winter, they're just absolutely great. They're tough, they're rugged, they hold up against a whole lot of damage. The brambles and the briars that you got to go through. I highly recommend you look at all three of those options for your pants. As far as shirts goes, undershirts, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff, I prefer a nice cotton shirt. I used to buy Carhartt shirts with the pocket, because pockets are just great to have. But I found that they just don't hold their shape all that well. They aren't as durable as I expected for the price that I was paying for them, and they're somewhere oftentimes $15 to $18 for the Carhartt pocket shirts. And I just happened to stumble on recently a line of Wrangler pocket t-shirts at Walmart, which I would suggest you really look into. In their workwear section, pocket cotton, 100% cotton, very comfortable, seems to be pretty durable, putting it through its paces right now, and I think they're just great. So, and they're only about $9 as opposed to $14 or $15 or $17 for the Carhartt pocket t-shirts. So as far as footwear goes, you gotta use the footwear that's right for the season. If you're going to be out in the rain, you need boots, rubber boots, that kind of a thing. If you're going to be shoveling snow, you're going to want to make sure that your feet stay dry and all that kind of stuff. If you're going to be hunting and walking in the woods, a good pair of hunting boots is absolutely essential. If you're going to be doing yard work and stuff around your house, just a pair of regular old work boots work great. I've been using for the last 3 or 4 years from Duluth Trading, they're Romeos, and easy to slip on. There's no lacing and all that to tie them up. I pick them up for about $80, $85, and they last a good long time. I think I'm on my second pair of them over 5 years, so they seem to hold up pretty good as just everyday work boots. Hiking shoes, if you're going to be on a trek, you want to make sure you got good fitting hiking shoes that are designed for comfort and durability, that are going to last you, that are going to be comfortable, that won't give you blisters, and make sure they fit you right. I invested in a pair of Merrells a number of years ago, and while the size was right, for me, the width was just a little bit too narrow. And I still got them today. I don't wear them that often, but they're just too tight across the instep for me. I didn't get a chance to try them on. I ordered them. I got them. They were okay for the first couple of weeks or so. And then it's like, well, the more I wore them, the worse they got. So I kind of set them aside, and I only use them now when I'm shoveling snow or something. So that's about it for that. One of the websites that I was on earlier doing some research suggested that you pack up an extra couple of pair of insoles for your hiking boots and your work shoes and stuff like that, and that's probably a good idea to have around when the S does hit the fan. Hats. Wintertime, you're going to want a wool beanie. I'm pretty sure these kind of baseball caps that I wear all the time, I think come in pretty handy. Stuff with the wider brims that you see folks out working in their garden, keeps the sun off the back of your neck, lets the rain drip off so that it doesn't get in your face, all that. So it's a matter of style, but a hat will help keep you warm. As far as outerwear goes, jackets and coats and things like that, I'm a particular favorite of mine is the Carhartt work coats. They're very rugged, they're canvas-like material. Some are lined, some are unlined, and they're less than $100. They last for a long time, and they're comfortable, and they get the job done. They can keep you warm. Windbreakers and light jackets and stuff like that that are made of polyester or nylon seem to work in cool fall days, just to keep like the wind out of you and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of a part of a layering system, which I'll talk about a little bit later. You need to be prepared for rain gear, using raincoats and ponchos, that kind of a thing. So probably a good idea to make sure you've got that in your bug out bag, your get home bag, in the trunk of your car for emergency purposes. Having a raincoat can be very, very helpful to keep you out of the elements. Gloves. I'm a big proponent of gloves, work gloves. Winter gloves and mittens and stuff like that really goes a long way to conserve body heat. So invest in a good pair of gloves and or mittens or both to make sure that your hands are going to stay warm, because we may not be able to enjoy the wonderful warm weather or the benefits of having a heated living space. So be prepared with that kind of stuff. And one of the other suggestions that's out there, not necessarily a huge fan for clothing, but bandanas and shamags, that kind of a thing, I think they can come in very handy from a prepping standpoint, not only to just wipe your brow with your handkerchief or blow your nose, but it can keep some of the body heat in while we're out toiling in the cold weather. Now, I mentioned layering, and I've got some merino wool undergarments that I will break out in the cold dead of winter. Now, it doesn't get that cold here in North Carolina, but be that as it may, it does get kind of cool here sometimes. I've seen it down to 0 and below right here in Wake County, North Carolina. So I've got a couple of sets of merino wool undergarments, the pants and the shirts, that I'll put on as a sub-layer for the layering. And if you have looked into layering, there's a right way and a wrong way to do that. You start with a sub-base, so it's like your merino wool undergarments. And then you've got a base layer, which is like regular t-shirts or a flannel shirt and a pair of jeans, that kind of stuff. You got your core layers, which is the light jackets and coveralls and stuff like that you can wear over that. And then you've got the full outer, which is like your heavy coats and stuff like that we just talked about. So as you layer those things on, the more protection that you'll enjoy from harsh winter, more predictably, harsh winter conditions. So look into layering, look into what you've got for your sub-base, for your base, your core, and your outer, and use it appropriately for the weather conditions that you believe you're going to be facing. There's another concept with clothing that is often hyped on a lot of the survival and prepper type channels, and that's the gray man look. Well, the gray man is basically just dressing yourselves in neutral type colors, navy blues and browns and grays and that kind of stuff. Stay away from things that set you off, like clothing with logos on it and imprintedness and that kind of stuff. You just want to be able to blend in with a crowd so that you don't stand out. That's really what gray man clothing is really all about. So I mentioned merino wool as part of the base layers and sub-base layers that are very important. My father-in-law, who was quite the outdoorsman, loved to hunt, would work all year long to be able to take 2 weeks vacation during hunting season in northern Pennsylvania, and he had a great outfit. They were wool-rich hunting pants that were, I think they were lined with kind of a quilted lining, and he'd wear a flannel shirt, and then he had a wool-rich hunting coat on top of that. Well, he would always be able to stay warm. He wore wool socks, he wore the LL Bean hunting boots, all that kind of stuff, and he would relish and just enjoy being out in bitter, cold, windy weather, and it really wouldn't faze him that much at all. I checked on prices and availability to match his hunting outfit, and I almost fell down with the price of things that are going on right now. Simple wool shirts, just a gray wool shirt at Duluth Trading Company is $130. At Filson, which is one of the more higher quality wool shirt makers, $145 for their mid-range type of wool shirt or wool shirt jack. The pants, the hunting pants, I couldn't find the wool-rich. His were the black and red check kind of a thing. Filson was about as close as they could come to that. They were $445. A company called Smart Wool had them for $140, and I found a few others that ranged between $120 and $200 for the wool pants. But if you're going to be out braving really super cold weather and you've got the budget to afford it, those kind of wool clothes are truly worth the investment. I hope some of the thoughts that I've got here, some of the lists that I just put forward, will be helpful for you. And just keep in mind, be prepared always. This is the Prepared Suburbanite, and I'll see you all on the next video.